make a lasting impact.
Yeah.
So making a lasting impact, I'll just use the tightrope analogy again, and I'll have to look at the notes, but is you can do this. Whoa. Doesn't sound like a helicopter's landing on the roof. You can do this incredible act on the tightrope. You can do this awesome act, and if you fail, obviously, then you lose all the success.
Oh, yeah.
But if you do that and then you finish well, it could be that a kid goes home from that event and is like, "Did you see that tightrope guy? It was incredible." So make a lasting impact on your Sunday school when it comes to Sunday. Is stay focused. I mean, it's an hour. I mean,
Yeah.
we're working on some curriculum, and we did like a survey thing, and hardly anybody goes over an hour. There is a few, but hardly anybody goes over an hour as an average. We go over sometimes, but so basically it's an hour. So surely we could focus for that long. And for us, we break it up into segments, and different people are doing different things. But even if you're a solopreneur in your Sunday school, even if you're running it solo, surely for that hour you could focus on that tightrope.
Absolutely.
And give it your all.
Absolutely. And understanding the value of it and that you are making an impact. Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Oh, one of the notes I had in here was try to think through kids' eyes. And so that comes back to the audiences watching that tightrope walker. And I've told this story. I don't know if I've told this on the podcast before or not, but my son Adrian, he's 17 now, but I remember he grew up in Sunday school, and now he works as staff in Sunday school. But when he was little, he would notice details like we would forget, and we would just grab a random sword out of the sword bucket. And then we would get home and he'd be like, "Why did he have why did Radigan have Festus's sword today?" I'm like, "He did?" I did. And so he would notice these little details. Yeah. Well, and not every kid maybe is that observant or that into Sunday school, but I do think there's certain things, and I get to experience it because now I have my young one, he's 7, and he has friends over and stuff, and they play Sunday school a lot. So I'll hear them,
That's so cool.
They'll quote unquote put on a show sometimes, usually for my wife, and so they'll do Sunday school. But there's little details that make a big impression on them. That most of the time it's something we didn't even plan for. Yeah. Which, man, we could get off track with this, but on the flip side, be really careful what you do.
It's so true.
You're being watched.
So true.
And so if you're on that tightrope, don't misstep because you're being watched. And so when we're in Sunday school, don't misstep. Be careful what you do. And on the flip side, you not just be careful, watch your, mind your P's and Q's, is that how it says? But not only just that, but also you can be inspiring. Yeah. You can make a lasting impact on a kid that, well, years later, I mean, they talk about with different actions, like in a stage play or something, can stick with somebody for like ever. Well,
that's what they remember. Yeah.
Yeah. And we kind of do a stage play with our Sunday school. Yeah. And so we got to keep in mind that we are making that impression, that impact, that lasting.
That's impact. So good. So good. So true. It's a big responsibility, but it's also a tremendous blessing being a part of Sunday school ministry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's just recap really quick. So I'll have to grab my notes here. So recap, keep focus and stay present. And a lot of these bullet points kind of just overlap each other, I know, but when you are in your Sunday school this Sunday, just kind of check yourself, right? Like, am I fully present? Am I thinking about, the pot roast at home? Or, am I ready to get this over with? Am I tired? Am my toe hurt? Whatever. And those are all things that happen. We play when hurt. I think Pastor preached a message about that, playing hurt. Mm-hmm. And so we had to play through some of that. But keep your focus. It's only an hour. Keep that focus for an hour and give it everything you got, and you might be surprised at what happens.
Yes.
And then point 2, keep your balance. And I keep on going back to, I feel like sometimes that balance is before you ever show up on Sunday.
So true.
In your daily life, every day, that balance is what shows through. Sunday is the spotlight moment.
Yeah.
Sunday is David versus Goliath. But David, during all that time before Goliath,
training,
he was praying, singing songs, worshiping God, all of these things, and then he had his spotlight moment. Sunday's our spotlight moment. Yeah. But all during the week, that's where our balance comes in.
Yeah.
All those fundamentals. And resist the urge to rush the end. And we kind of, with that end, we're kind of talking a lot about altar call, is kind of, just because a lot of times that's our end or close to our end. And so resist the urge to just kind of gloss over it.
Yes.
And, rush past it or get on to the next segment or whatever. And then make a lasting impact. That's so, man, we make an impact on kids. And here's the thing is, I'm old enough to, and it feels good, but it's more than just about feeling good. But I'm old enough to have heard several people attribute some of their successes or some of their accomplishments to me.
Yeah.
In some part or some way, and thank me, like publicly sometimes in like a graduation speech or things like that. I'm not saying like a bunch or anything, but I'm old enough that I've experienced that. And so the reason I say I'm old enough is because right now, the little things that you can do, if you just, and that's not why we do it, but I'm just saying, if you live a life well, and every Sunday you just consistently do a great job and stay focused, then it might be years from now, but somebody, they were 5, now they're 18, and they're saying, I remember in Sunday school when you taught this lesson. I'm like, what? You do? And you can hear some of that, and it's like, that was a turning point or whatever,
And it's going to challenge them when they're older to make the same impact.
Yes.
So if you made a negative impact, they're gonna be like, well, I don't like that. I'm gonna make sure I don't do that to somebody else. Or made a positive impact. It's like, he really impacted me. I want to try to share that with somebody else.
And you got both. Back to that tightrope. You got to stay on. Because you can make a negative impact or a good impact, and so you got to stay on.
So true.
All right. Well, I had to push that last impact part because I didn't want to rush the end.
Hey, we were right there. We had to make it.